Not a day, one DDI, but have listened to every podcast.
Can we just try that again? Can we have another run at that? Okay. Not a day, one D. Yeah.
Not a day, one DDI.
Not a day, one DDI. DD. It's L. It's not a capital L though. Who is this?
Take 3.
Help to the amazing.
Take 4.
DLs, welcome back to the Wittering Whitehalls at the, not quite, but nearly at the peroration of this series. Series 9, I believe, Joe.
Yeah.
We're in a different location. We're in the rural Whitehall Towers, and I'm just going to take a little bit of footage here of, just going to do this, hang on. PPJ, is this your rural look?
This is my late summer look.
Nice.
A loud shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know how Mr Whitehall feels about it, but I could take a guess.
Mr. Whitehall, what do you feel about that shirt?
Yes, I suppose if I was going to the circus or something like that, I might put on something like that. I wouldn't, not for sort of everyday use.
Would they let me into the Garrett Club?
Definitely not.
No,
they wouldn't
no,
even let you
no.
onto the sort of steps outside. No.
With a nice pair of shoes?
No, you'd be cleared away by security.
Right. DLs, for your delectation and delight, we still haven't come up with this catch-all initialism. Somebody did suggest one, which was DAs, dear audience. Because I'm very aware that we are now on YouTube, are we not?
I am still an advocate for DLs or
Okay.
I like tradition.
Okay, well, DLs, you know, please, those of you watching on YouTube, the full episode of the Wittering Whitehalls in glorious Technicolor, copyright, you are part of the DL family, just to let you know. We're just going to stick with DLs, but you are DLs even though you're watching. Just clarifying that. Yes? Are you happy with that, Mr. Whitehall?
Yes.
Okay. I want to tell you a little anecdote that happened a couple of weeks ago because it's worth it. You'll like it. It's Mr. Whitehall at his absolutely classic best, this one. I think you'll like this one, Joe, as well. So we were invited for lunch by Rick Stein and his wife Sass to
Name drop.
Yeah, clunk.
Could
Early
you,
name drop.
I haven't asked you to do this before, Mr. Producer,
PPJ.
but could you keep count of how many name drops Mrs. Whitehall drops during this show?
What, generally speaking, each episode?
No, I don't think I could expect you to do that, but maybe just for this one.
I think we start with the next series and we see how many I can get into the next series.
I'm concerned there's not enough budget for the pages of notes I would need to get them all down.
Maybe then just have a mental thing. So I'm on.
Record.
We're on one at the moment.
One today.
Yes.
There's more incoming.
There are
This is a good one though, Michael.
Parked up. I can feel them coming.
Are you ready for this?
Very.
DLs, strap in. Asked to Sandbanks to his restaurant for lunch with Rick, Sass, and the bass player of Dire Straits, Mr. Ilsley, name drop number 2, and his wife Steph. So off we go to Sandbanks. For various reasons, Mr. Stein does not appear at lunch because he's taken a bit poorly, but that's a whole other story which I won't go into now and probably won't go into ever. But anyway, he does not appear at lunch. And his wife is up and down administering to him whilst he's poorly. I should, for clarity, point out that he is now absolutely fine, but on that particular day he was not. So that left us with lunch with Sass and John Ilsley and Mrs. Ilsley for lunch. And I'd explained to Michael who we were having lunch with. I had a gap next to me where Rick should have been, so I talked to Mrs. Ilsley for most of the lunch, and you talked to John Ilsley, did you not? For most of the lunch.
I didn't know who he was.
Well, you just knew he was,
He's a very charming, very elegantly dressed and a very interesting man.
Yes, you talked. I think you talked about the fact that he. Well, I won't identify where he lives, but I think he is a part owner of a pub and various other things. Yeah, all of this is in the public domain. So lots of chats about lots of things.
And then we talked a bit of politics, and then we talked about music and different things. And I thought he was extremely charming and very,
I had
very
forgotten
nice.
that we'd already met them. So when I walked in, I said, "Oh, hello, lovely to see you again." And in fact, I'd sat next to him at dinner at one stage. So I said, "Oh, yes, we sat next to one another and chat. But you had been told that we were having lunch with someone from a very, very, very massive band.
Well, that was a few days before.
It was a few days before. Anyway.
Maybe a week before.
Yeah. Then Mrs. Stein got up and said, "I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to go because Rick's still not very well. I think I need to probably just take him to the doctor and just get him checked out." And I said, "Good plan." So off she went. Goodbye. At which point, Michael Whitehall turned to John Ilsley of Dire Straits and said, "Well, I don't know what happened to that pop star. He didn't bother to turn up." So I looked at Mr. Ilsley and said, "Michael, this is the pop star." And I then looked at John Ilsley again and said, "Are you happy to take the moniker pop star?" "I think more of a rock star, if I'm honest." He roared with laughter, thank goodness. But it was the accusatory nature of you. "Well, I don't know what happened to that pop star. He didn't bother to turn up."
I just thought they were two friends of Rick's we were talking to, and then there are other people coming.
Yeah.
Including the
bothered
pop
to turn
star.
up, yeah.
Yes,
Anyway,
bothered to turn up.
You surpassed yourself, Michael, on that one. It was interesting that Mrs. Ilsley texted me later and signed herself "Love from the pop star's wife." So I think Mr. Ilsley may have to reframe himself in rock culture, rock history as a pop star. So yes, that was.
I mean, when you told me who he was, I still didn't know who he was.
Yes, I did have to get up on a music streaming platform. I had to get up.
What was it? Diarrhea, you said.
Dire Straits.
Oh yes.
Diarrhea. Interestingly, Michael, Mr. Knopfler, who is the lead singer / main songwriter, etc., of Dire Straits, member of the Garrick Club.
Oh yes,
quite weird. Mr. Ilsley said, "No, he has a very inquiring mind. He loves to meet interesting people. That's why he loves the Garrick Club."
He's never met me, unfortunately,
well, that's
nor me him, and also I wouldn't know who he was anyway.
You'd say, "Excuse me, are you a pop star?" Also, you never sit on the members' table because you always want to have your own table.
I don't.
So, yes.
The trouble with sitting on the members' table, you never know who you're going to have either side of you or in front of you.
And you're not a man who seeks out new friends and new company, are you?
Do you remember that time I took Jack there? Mm-hmm. And Jack spent most of the time, because we were on the centre table, talking to the person who I will tell you who he was. And then when we were in the cab going back, Jack and I, Jack said, "Who was that bloke opposite me dressed up as a vicar?"
Dressed up as a vicar.
I said, "He's the Bishop of London, Robert Charteris." And he's Richard Charteris. He's a very distinguished man and extremely charming. Oh, he was very nice, yeah. I just wondered why he was dressed up like that. Because he's a bishop.
The Bishop of London.
It's the Bishop of London's clothes that he was wearing because he was out in town.
I love the way you get Robert and Richard mixed up so much. Robert Reed, Richard Reed. The other day we had Richard Kingston when we were trying to remember Roman Kemp. I mean, Richard, Robert, it's all interchangeable.
It is quite confusing.
Yeah.
Dick and Bob.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Dick and Bob. Yeah. Were there some children's entertainment? What were they called? Simon and...
Are you thinking of Vic and Bob?
No, I don't know about Vic and Bob. Simon and somebody.
Not Garfunkel.
No. Clearly not your era then, Joe, because it's not coming at you.
It's not firing for me.
Okay, I may have
Dick and Dom.
No, not Dick and Dom, but I know you mean by Dick and Dom. Yeah. Let's leave it there on the children's entertainment situation. Shall we have an email, Mr. Whitehall?
Shall we? Would you like me to read it?
I would. I'm just going to find that because we're a little bit confused here this week. There's a lot of paperwork going on for various reasons, and Even I'm struggling. I stapled yours together, Michael, because I thought that was going to be easier. I'm now slightly regretting that.
Hello to the amazing Whitehalls and PPJ. Not a day, one DDI, but have listened to every podcast.
Can we just try that again? Can we have another run at that? Okay. Not a day, one D. Yeah.
Not a day, one DDI.
Not a day, one DDI. DD. It's L. It's not a capital L though. Who is this?
Take 3.
Help to the amazing.
Take 4.
Yeah.
Hello to the amazing Whitehalls and PPJ. Not a day, one DL.
Okay, we're going to go for take 5 now, and you're not going to cover your face with that piece of paper.
Can I do it, Michael? Shall I
Hello
read this bit?
to the amazing Whitehalls and PPJ. Not a day, one DDL, but have listened to every podcast. Listen to ever podcast. Somebody's written there.
Is this written in French?
Not a day one DDL, but have listened to every podcast. Long may it keep going. Right, over to you, Mr. Whitehall.
I was wondering if Mr. Whitehall knew about Winston Churchill's platypus story. How the mystery of Winston Churchill's dead platypus was finally solved. Keep up the good work.
Over the page, please.
Best regards, Adam Tyson.
Nice. Right. Well, there's a lot of stuff we could cover in this, Michael Whitehall. Quick question. Did you know about Winston Churchill's platypus?
Hilary,
Yes, Michael.
I did not know about Winston Churchill's platypus.
Until this morning.
Oh, until this morning,
Yes, because work had to be done, did it not?
I knew nothing about it at all.
Yeah.
And have we had it verified?
It's a BBC article that you read. It's a BBC news item that you read about it.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's right, does it?
I think the BBC do pretty good compliance. Not always. I grant you there have been 1 or 2 issues recently with them not doing their compliance, or indeed keeping bits of compliance back. But let's not get into that choppy water.
But
I think it is true.
we take it as true.
Basically, Winston Churchill loved collecting exotic animals.
Apparently.
We don't. This is something that Michael knew nothing
This
about.
is all new news to me.
New Churchillian news to Michael
Because
Whitehall.
if it was old news, it wouldn't be news, really, would it?
That's true.
No.
Yeah,
What do you
olds.
think?
Do you know what news stands for?
Stands for no.
Yeah, do you know what it actually is? I think it is actually an initialism for north, east, west,
West and
south.
south.
Yeah, I think. I may be wrong,
Right.
PPJ. You could verify that. But Winston Churchill allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're doing allegedly here
Yeah.
because this is all internet news and we know about internet news, don't we? Had at one point a lion, a leopard, kangaroos that he wanted to keep at Chartwell, and some black swans that the Australian government gifted to him, but apparently the foxes got them. Not a good look when you've been given a gift if you let the foxes get them. But he actually had to donate all those animals, quite rightly, to London Zoo, because you can't really have a lion and a leopard wandering around the countryside of Kent.
No. I mean, I think the good burgers of Edenbridge would be a bit worried
they
if
would
they
be very
came out of
worried.
the grocery shop and
Yeah.
there was a lion.
If you saw a leopard in the
Waiting
middle
for
of
them.
Crookham Hill.
Yeah.
Or is it Crookham Hill? Crookham or Crookham? All I know is that my Morris Minor traveller used to break down on a weekly basis when I used to go and visit my parents, and then I'd be driving back to London in the Morris Minor traveller. It would always break down on Crookham Hill. I got onto first name terms with the AA man. On a Sunday, he'd say, "Oh, hello, Hilary. What is it this week?" I'd say, "I've no idea." Open the bonnet, please. Could you have a look? And then he'd get me going again.
What was his name then?
I think it was Alan.
Right.
Alan from the AA.
Do you think he might still be with us, Alan?
Possibly. He was
Do
very
you want
helpful.
to say hello to him?
Very helpful.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan of the
Thank
AA.
you for
from
helping
Crookham
Hilary.
Hill. Crookham Hill.
So how many years ago was the
Well, we've been married
Moggy?
for 40 years. We did have the Moggy briefly when we were first
Yeah.
together. So back to Winston and his animals. He loved
Yeah,
an exotic
I
animal
knew
and
that.
indeed a non-exotic animal.
Yes,
Rumour has
I knew
it,
that.
if I may be so bold,
Yes,
okay,
you may be.
that a pug was involved because there's a drawing of a pug that he did on a letter to his wife Clementine.
There is.
Yeah. So
And
my
also-
kind of man, just going to say that,
Mhm.
Michael Whitehall. Anyway, I've got a list here.
Right.
Cats, Jock 1 to Jock 6, marmalade cats. Always marmalade, I assume. Do you like a marmalade cat?
Mm-hmm.
Tango, pre-war residents.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson, Downing Street cat during the war. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Whiskey, black cat at Downing Street post-war. So we've got pre-war Nelson, post-war Whiskey. And Marmalade, ginger cat post-war. Dogs. Mr. Punch, daughter Mary's pug. My kind of girl. Oh, I met Mary Soames, his
Did you?
daughter. I did. Do you remember she was a grandmother at the school that our children were at? And we shook her hand. And I then said to you, Michael, you've shaken the hand of someone who's shaken the hand of Winston Churchill,
I remember
i.e.
that.
his daughter.
Yes.
So exciting. She was absolutely charming. Do you remember?
And you never stopped talking
If
about
I'd
it.
known at the time that she was a pug lady, I would have talked pug to her, but I didn't know
Little
that.
did you know that many years later,
Yeah,
you'd be getting her into your podcast
exactly.
as a huge name drop.
Okay, there's another name drop. Okay. Yeah, get that noted. Right. Rufus, reddish-brown toy poodle. Rufus 2, successor to Rufus. There is somebody not a million miles away from here at the moment, Michael, who also has a dog called Rufus, I happen to know.
Really?
Do you know anyone with a dog called Rufus,
My
BPG?
sweet boy, my sweet love.
Oh, there
my
we
Rufus.
go. Oh, is your Rufus any poodle? Is he a poodle?
He is a cockapoo, so he's
Oh.
half poodle. There's every chance that he could be a
Really?
descendant of
The Rufuses.
one of the Rufuses of
Yes.
Winston Churchill. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who do we know has got a cockapoo?
Most people
Oh, are
have cockapoos. They are ubiquitous, although yours doesn't look particularly cockapoo-ish.
Runt.
Oh, runt. Okay, it's a small cockapoo.
they? I would prefer it
Yes.
if our producer did not refer to a dog as being the runt of a litter in a slightly sort of derisory way.
Why?
Because we have a runt
Yeah,
of
we've
the
got the
litter.
runt of the litter as well.
Ah.
Philomena.
Philomena
They're
is
the
the runt.
small, sweet children.
Yes.
I love them all.
Yeah, and they're very grateful.
Philomena is the white puppy that nobody wanted because all the others were brown and
Biscuity.
long-haired and wonderful. And there was
Poodly.
this funny, weird white one that the woman couldn't sell. And so she gave it to me. Well, gave it to me,
Yeah.
but I paid her
50,
a very
500 quid.
reduced amount of money for it.
I'm going back to Winston Churchill because that's how I roll. Ready? Birds. African grey parrot. Budgerigars, bred by Mary Churchill. We're back to Mary again. I'm loving this one because this is the name of our son-in-law. Toby, the budgie gifted by Lord Montgomery. Toby the budgie.
Right.
Black swans gifted by Sir Philip Sassoon and the people of Western Australia. Well, we know what happened to them because I've told you. The foxes got them. Fish, goldfish and golden orf in the pond. Horses, polo ponies in his younger years. Racehorses, including Colonist 2. Is that a slightly contentious name?
Probably.
Okay.
Different time.
Other animals. Fox cubs, Charles James and Victoria. What? He had fox cubs that he gave names. Charles James, is that one fox cub or two?
I think that's Charles James.
Charles James and Victoria. Butterflies housed in a butterfly house. There we go, Michael. That's quite the menagerie, is it not? But the platypus, he wanted a platypus to add to his collection, Michael. So I don't know whether you know about platypuses, but
I
they
know
are
nothing at all about
okay. They are
platypuses.
one of two mammals that lay eggs, which is weird that a mammal lays eggs because mammals don't lay eggs; they give birth to live issue.
Mm-hmm.
But platypuses lay eggs, but they are they're classed as a mammal, and they've got the body of a beaver. They've got a duck bill, hence duck bill platypus, and they've got sort of webbed feet like a duck. So they are strange, strange creatures, only available, as it were, in Australia. And they don't travel well. Apparently, there is only one set of platypuses outside of Australia that have bred outside of Australia, because generally when they ship them away, there's some in America which have been shipped over, which I think have survived, but generally they don't survive the journey. They love to stay in Australia. So you don't see them very often. And in fact, we've done 2 trips to Australia and not seen a duck-billed platypus. They shipped one over to Churchill during the war in 1943. It died en route, and they then were slightly embarrassed about this. So they then put out this story that a German U-boat attacked the ship that the platypus was in. They're very sensitive to sound and vibration, and it was the overload and torpedoes. The overload of this attack killed the platypus. Turns out that it was actually to do with temperature control, and the poor thing probably boiled alive in its water because they can't tolerate water that's too hot. Anyway, it pegged it.
So that wouldn't have been good for war morale, would it?
No, definitely not. So they said that it was the, they sort of hushed it up and said that it was the vibrations of the torpedoing. So Winston, in fact, ended up having it stuffed. So it's a stuffed platypus now.
It's interesting that none of this came out in any of his books.
It's funny that, isn't it? He obviously was slightly embarrassed about it, I would think.
He obviously kept it quiet.
I have news, DLs. In fact, you can read this, Michael Whitehall. Mm-hmm. And this tie here is relevant to his reading of this letter, because this tie was the tie that was gifted to him by Sewing Machine Josh and Chef Julie. Worn specially for today because we have an update.
Dear Michael and Hilary, you threw down the gauntlet in an earlier episode this season. Can Sewing Machine Josh and Chef Julie ferret out the truth about the whereabouts of the 8,000 plus Toby jugs remaining after? I think you ought to read it, because I haven't read that before. And
the 8,000 plus Toby jugs remaining after the closure of the world's only legitimate in-depth Toby Jug Museum located in Evanston, Illinois. Here are the details. After the museum's closure in 2024, the owner's wife and family used a broker to auction off the more valuable pieces in the collection. Vintage Toby jugs from better producers like Royal Dalton, Staffordshire Pottery, Shorter & Son, and the like. This reduced the collection materially. Some have been sold off in small quantities in private sales. Many thousands remain in the museum space in the dark awaiting their fate, the most likely being that another collector who wants to start his own museum will come with a huge lorry, and cart them off to North Carolina to a new home. There you have it. It's not easy relocating a large niche collection of anything, as we well know. I'm happy to report that we've gone one step further. Pulling some strings, Chef Julie and I prevailed upon the owner's daughter to give us a private tour of the museum, which I can report is neat, tidy, and filled with thousands of organised Toby jugs of all types and sizes in glass display cases. That. We were invited to choose 1 or 2 pieces, and after having pondered 30 or 40 different depictions of Winston Churchill by various makers, we chose a Royal Dalton Churchill from the 1940s as a gift for your collection. We have been assured that it is highly unlikely that you already have this one in your collection. We hope Mr. Churchill arrives in fine fettle. If not, it will make for another entertaining Wittering story about fixing Michael's Churchilliana. Lest you think we went home empty-handed ourselves, I acquired a ceramic thimble of Churchill that is perhaps 1.5 inches tall. Chef Julie may be on deck to receive a cookie jar in the shape of the Mona Lisa. Negotiations are underway. We hope all is well with Philly, Winston, Molly, Toby, Barney, Tats, Jack, Roxy, and the various charming offspring. And, of course, PPJ, we cannot forget him. We miss you, but get our Whitehall fix weekly via the podcast. With love, Julie and Josh. P.S. We will leave you with this. There is a town in southern Indiana called French Lick. We like French Lick. Well, DLs, I'm here to say, here is the present from Chef Julie and Sewing Machine Josh. I present you Michael Whitehall with
thank you so much.
the Royal Dalton.
Thank you both.
Churchill.
Yes. Oops.
Try not to hit the mic.
Yeah, I'll try not to hit the mic.
So
Look at him.
stare down
Bless
the gun
him.
barrel of that camera there,
Little
Michael. There he
Winston,
is.
look.
Winston,
There
look.
he is.
Bless him. We love it. Thank you very much. So there you go. DLs, anybody wanting 8,000 Toby jugs, we know where you can find them.
Dear WWs, I'd like to introduce the Gillamuffy.
Ooh.
That's Jilamufi.
Or is it Gillamuffy?
Categorization of dear listeners, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't mind at all.
For the avoidance of doubt, I believe the pronunciation to be Gillamuffy.
Gillamuffy.
And can explain the meaning. A Gillamuffy is somebody who can't claim to be a day one DL because they didn't come across the podcast for a while. However, when they finally discovered it, they jumped in with both feet,
Ooh.
joined in late and making up for it. Characterized by their thirst for new episodes and enthusiasm to join in by writing in or sending a voice note, I hate hearing recordings of my voice, so I've opted for the former. I recently hired a van to clear out my dad's shed when he passed away. Did he pass away while you were clearing up
Was that what did it?
your dad's shed?
I don't think so, Michael.
No. Although hoarder might be a harsh description, he was certainly prone to keeping hold of things in case they came in useful. In fact, my mother always used to do that.
Yep.
Amongst his artifacts were a few Toby
Oh!
jugs,
Oh, it's all
which
tying
I'm
together.
sorry to say I haven't kept.
It's all tying together beautifully, this, Joe.
Anyhow, two things. One, I'd never hired or driven a van before, and I must recommend it as a thing to experience. I can already hear Michael's sarcastic response. Me, sarcastic? To such a dreary-sounding recommendation, but trust me, you feel like the king of the road. Two, I was bombarded with options to enhance my level of insurance. I could have ended up spending 3 times as much on the hire to account for any and all eventualities should they occur. What do you do when it comes to insurance? I know that travel insurance can be the same. Are you belt and braces just in cases, or do you opt for the basic and hope for the best? I love the podcast and enjoyed catching up like a true Gillamuffy. Very best, Jake.
I mean, you've actually had a couple of experiences with vans, albeit of differing type, i.e. camper vans.
Me?
Yes, do you remember in...
You're obsessed with
I
camper
am obsessed with
vans.
camper vans, but the only person in this family to have driven a camper van is you on Travels with My Father.
When did I do that?
Well, in Hungary, you had, I think we've referenced this before, one of the most expensive days of filming ever because the line producer had to go and pay 15 people for their broken up wing
yes, I
mirrors as you
remember that.
chunked
Yes, that
down
was
the
just
road.
an unfortunate accident.
It was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it was funny, all the car alarms going off behind you.
Mm.
But also, do you remember arriving at Caesar's Palace?
Well, that wasn't my fault.
Which we've done again. We've done Caesar's Palace before, but that
Mm.
was very funny when you drove the Winnebago into the entrance of, well, virtually nearly into the Caesar's Palace inside.
Yes, well, I mean, that was partly due to the fact that the brakes on that car weren't very
car. It was like a sort of man mountain.
Yes,
It was huge.
the whole thing, the
Yeah.
brakes were very inadequate. And
No-
also,
nothing to do with your driving
no,
then?
and also there was no security on the door. There should have been someone standing
Well,
there.
there was actually. I just
preventing
don't think you
people
even noticed
driving
it.
in through the doors.
I don't think you noticed it, Michael. There was plenty of security, but
I saw the backside of a man running away from us. But I
As you
certainly
tooted
didn't
your
see
horn.
it. There was no person putting their hand up and saying, stop.
do not enter.
No,
I mean, it was a very funny sequence, that.
it was.
I, of course, have driven a van, Michael. Do you remember that? I don't know whether we've covered this before, so apologies if we have, but it's worth a retelling. Do you remember when you moved your offices from Gloucester Road
Yes.
back to our then house?
and you drove.
Well, sorry, just stamp all over the
No,
punchline. Why don't you?
no, because somebody else was meant to
So,
be driving it.
our
and he
then
lost it.
bookkeeper, Stephen, said, well, we'll need to hire a Luton van. I said, yes, indeed we will, because there was a lot of filing cabinets and paperwork and desks and sofas.
What's a Luton van?
A Luton van is one that has a bit that goes above the driving cab. So it's a big van.
Why
Did
is
you
it
not-
called Luton
I think
van?
it's to do with hats. PPJ, could you look that up? Why is a Luton van called a Luton van? It's called a Luton van, Michael.
But I do remember Stephen saying, if I'm going to drive, I need to have one like that.
Yeah, he said, well,
So
no,
I
it was
said,
a
"You do."
question of us getting all the stuff in. We measured it
Exactly.
all and
Yeah.
decided that we needed
Yeah.
Luton van,
Yes.
because the design originated in the town of
Luton.
Luton,
Ah.
specifically at the Bedford Vehicles plant.
Right, it does
Right.
not... Is there any reference to hats? Because I think Luton, they're known as the Hatters, the football team.
The initial purpose of the Luton van was to serve the straw hat industry in Luton, which needed a van to transport large, lightweight hats.
Oh, very
yeah.
Michael Whitehall. Yes.
Go.
Okay. Hilary Cam capturing the fact that we've got some crossover yet again in an email. So, Michael, the Luton van was
Yes.
duly hired by my good self
Mhm.
from a shop in Putney, a van hire, car hire which happened to have vans in Putney. And I don't know what made me do this. Maybe I had a sort of weird premonition, but when I hired the van, I put him on the insurance, but I also put myself on. I don't know, just because I was thinking, well, for a backup. As it turned out, very prescient, because the van was collected by him from Putney empty, and it's quite easy driving an empty van. That's the easy bit. We then loaded it up. I remember we hired our then lovely cleaning lady, Haldane's sons, to come and help us load it up. And there was a lot of stuff. It took quite a long time because there was a lot of stuff in your office that had accumulated over the 15 years of you being there. And it was all coming back to Lower Commons. It was all coming back to Putney because we had decided that we no longer needed a playroom because the children were all grown up and we were going to have an office there. Work
Shame
from
none
home.
of
You
them
were an
grew
early
up, though.
adopter of the work from home situation.
Mm-hmm.
Shame what, sorry?
Shame Jack never
Grew
followed the others and grew up.
Still waiting
But
for that
there we
one.
are. He will one day.
Anyway, we loaded up said van. Stephen then got into the van to drive it, went literally 50 yards down the road and had a complete freak out. Said, I can't do it. It's completely different now. It's completely full. And indeed, I hadn't driven it empty, but I then said, oh, this is ridiculous. You said you were going to drive it. Don't be such a wuss. And he said, I can't drive it. I can't do this. I can't do it. So I said, fine, well, I'll do it then, having never driven a van in my life. So I then drove a very
You did
full...
it very well.
Yes, it was quite... It's interesting because it was a very heavy drive because it was full of stuff. Driving a full van of stuff is quite... You are king of the road and you don't want anybody getting in front of you in your way because, you know, obviously braking distances are different and you don't want everything then shooting down the van because you've hoped you've secured it well enough, but... It's a whole different ball game, Michael Whitehall.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I
was
drove that
there.
Luton van back to Putney through the London traffic. Seem to remember it was rush hour, so it was quite hectic over Putney Bridge, etc. Anyway, I did it, Michael. The Luton van.
And Stephen? I think,
Stephen,
did he come
Stephen
with
came
you
back.
in the
Yeah,
back of the van?
well, no, he was in the cab with me, and he
Oh,
kept saying, "Oh, you're doing awfully well." I said, "Thank you, Stephen, for your affirmation on this one." Where do you stand, Michael, on the insurance situation where people try to upsell you things on insurance? I remember many an occasion at a car hire desk in airports abroad where they're trying to sell you, wheel insurance and paint insurance and extra, to get your, what's the word, the excess down. And you just say, no, 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 no.
Would you like extra?
Paint?
No.
No.
Would you like extra? No. No.
So that is our experience.
contract.
It's a contract. So the answer is no, we do not buy upsold insurance anymore. We take pot luck on not damaging the car.
Mm-hmm.
And you are an absolute animal about going round the car when we get it, saying, right, there's a mark there, mark that down on the sheet. There's a mark there. And then
and I also take photos and make notes in a book.
Yeah.
A black leather notebook.
Yeah.
About all the damage that's already on the car.
The last couple of times that we've been abroad and hired cars, I try not to hire a car these days because I'm sort of over it now. Driving abroad is fraught and hectic. But the last couple of times that we've dropped cars off at airports, there's been nobody there. You literally drop the car and put the key in put the key through the letterbox of the office, or they're busy with someone else and they just say, "Oh, give me the key and I'll check it later." And you think, "Oh, do I really want them checking it when I'm not there?" Not sure that I do. I want to be there when they check it to absolutely nail that we have not damaged the car.
But we never have.
We never have.
I have to say.
No, the only thing we once did, and I think we've referenced it before, is I did once lose the key. That is a drama.
Yes,
we've done that,
but we've never damaged a car.
Yeah, that was a big life lesson, which I'm going to repeat to you. Do not ever lose the key of a hire car, because the other key will always be several hundred miles away. You're then left with paying for the car in where it's been left for days, if not weeks, because of course it takes so long to get a key from Paris down to Aix-en-Provence. It takes weeks.
Dear Wittering Whitehalls, one of the biggest questions facing the Western world in the last decade or more is whether or not we can all get enough of Michael Whitehall.
A question I've been asking myself for nearly 40 years, Michael Whitehall.
Don't even get me started on Hilary, because since the podcast began, she has been the bonus we never knew we needed. Well, it's quite sucky-uppy, this person.
We like.
But back to Mr. Whitehall Senior for a moment. He's never been on television and failed to hit the mark.
Well, that's because you don't see the bits that are edited out.
He brings the house down and steals the show off that comedian with the beard. I forget his name, forgive me, every time. So how can we hope to quench our thirst for content? For content. So how can we hope to quench our thirst for content featuring the great man? A live stream, of course. Let's have it 24 hours, one camera and a simple task. Follow Michael and capture every detail of a typical day in the life. Now that you're on YouTube, it shouldn't be too difficult. Just throw PPJ 20 quid and charge him with the task of not letting Mr. Whitehall out of his sight.
Done.
Okay.
Perhaps you could do it for charity.
Oh.
Oh, no, I'm not sure about that.
Very good idea.
No, not such a good idea. Sorry, PPJ. That £20 will need to go in the hat too.
Fair play.
It's an idea that I wish we could see come to fruition. Best regards, Robert.
I mean, clearly Robert's had a sudden rush of blood to the head. My response to your email, Robert, I'm afraid, is a resounding please no. Please no.
I think it's rather a good plan.
Oh, I mean, I just don't know where to start with this. I mean, you're already usually very one step away from cancellation adjacent, which is why we employ the services of the wonderful PPJ to keep you not being cancelled. Slightly worried about the live shows, if I'm honest, on this particular front. Oh, talking of which, if you'd like to join us, yes, we're about to go on tour. The witteringwhitehalls.co.uk for all ticketing information. Do we need to run the dates, PPJ?
We could
Hang on, I'm going to film it this time because we didn't film it last time, and I think this is very important.
You thought you were filming it, didn't you?
Oh, that's right. Yes, we had what's known in the trade as the malfunction, the filming malfunction. Which
Have you pressed the button?
I've pressed the button.
When you say we employ PPJ, I don't think he'd think that we did. We just
I'm in
use
your employ.
Mm.
Kicks off Wednesday, 8th of October 2025 in Stoke, and then carries on York, Guildford, Richmond, Oxford, Birmingham, Bradford, Crewe, Harrogate, Stockton, ending the 29th of November, Salford Quay.
Whoa! I should also add, PPJ, on the 4th of October, we're doing a live warm-up show for charity in Winchester, at the University of Winchester for Winchester Hospice. So if you fancied a trip to Winchester, come join us there. I believe the tickets for that are on the Winchester Hospice website. So check that out if you're in that zone, region, area. Right. Thank you, PPJ. So there you have it. I say no to a live stream of Michael Whitehall because being in the living embodiment of the live stream, I'm not sure that you've got the stamina for it, Robert. It's quite exhausting and it's quite hectic being in the world of Michael Whitehall. You, on the other hand, may have a different take on this.
It would probably be all about the money, I would have thought.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
no fee, no me. That old chestnut.
I mean, if there was a decent fee, obviously I'd be happy to be live anywhere.
Sorry, we were meant to be doing it for charity, I thought.
Oh.
The C word, Michael. Your favourite word.
What, I'm going to be on a live podcast?
No, live stream.
Nothing.
It's nothing, not a podcast. It's just you losing your temper with the dog, the kettle,
and where,
the TV remote control.
Where does Robert mention charity then? In this?
There.
Oh, I didn't see that
yeah,
word.
You glossed.
No, he just put, perhaps you could do it for charity.
It was a question.
No, I dropped that sentence because, no, I wouldn't do it for charity. But I'd probably reduce my normal fee.
It's very big of you.
Yeah.
On that note, dears, I'm going to draw this to a close. Please do what you do so well. Rate, review, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Follow the show. Please keep the emails coming. The witteringwhitehalls@gmail.com. Voice notes, WhatsApps. We love them all. You are the beating heart of the podcast. You know, we love being in your company. Right, Michael Whitehall, could we have the brushes, please? 07712 147236. Oh, love that ending. Love it. We will be back on Thursday with the bonus set. Please join us then. Until then, I will say farewell. Are you going to say goodbye?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Goodbye.